Hello, welcome to the Tradeciety YouTube channel. Welcome back. And finally, I've settled into my new trading office here in Germany. It's almost completed, still a little bit empty, but I'll get to that shortly. But I thought today arrived my webcam and I thought I make a quick video with the webcam now and say hello to everybody. So happy Friday. And I got a very interesting question this week from one of our members on Instagram. And he asked me, how do you control yourself from greed? Do you have some sort of coping mechanisms? So I thought a lot about this question. I thought it's very interesting and I did not have an immediate answer, but I kept this question in my head during all the week. And I have something very interesting to tell you now. And I think that this describes the greed responses and why traders are greedy. And I will also give you a few tips how to correct this behavior. So let's get started and let's get into this question. So I broke this question down into a few different parts, and then also I will give you some tips and some things to think about in your own trading and how to correct your behavior maybe. So first of all, what is greed and how do traders respond to greed? How does the greed response manifest in your trading every day? And I think there are three different ways how we as traders have to deal with greed in our trading and how greed is trying to take over in our daily trading. So the first one is here, we take positions that are too big, so we want to make more money than actually what is reasonable with our account, and then we just scale our positions up to very unreasonable and very unsustainable levels, so we take positions that are way too big for our trading. Then the second is delaying profit taking. This means that maybe you're in a trade and the price is approaching your take profit target, but you think that, oh, I wanted to make more money. This is not enough. Maybe price will keep going. And then you extend your take profit. You take your take profit and set it further down the road to make maybe more money. But then what happens? Price turns around right at where you had your initial take profit target, and it takes you then out for a small loss, maybe a break-even trade if you have managed your stop loss. So this is also a big problem when traders are too greedy. They want to get too much out of the market and they don't listen to their trading plan. And then finally, the third reason how traders are greedy is that they break their rules. Maybe they haven't had a trade for a while, or they haven't had a winning trade for a while, and they try to find reasons how to get into a trade. Then they break their rules just to justify taking a position in the markets without actually having a business of being in the market. So they just take random trades. I'm pretty sure this sounds very familiar, and if you're honest to yourself, we all have been there, and I think those three are very good signs that we as traders are greedy and we have to control our greed responses. So the next step is we have to think about what does the greed responses trigger, why are we greedy? And for that, I also think there are three different things that we can take a look at. First, traders have small trading accounts. Trading small trading accounts is much harder than trading large trading accounts. I know it is tough to hear, not many people want to hear it. Many people say, okay, I just treat my small account like a big account. But this is just not possible. You cannot fool yourself so easily. You know that your trading account is maybe just 100 or 200 bucks, and you cannot really professionally size your positions with a $100 account, because 1% risk on a $100 account would be just $1. And first of all, it's very hard to get into positions with a decent stop loss and a position size. And also, let's be honest, if you wait for a few hours, maybe even a few days for a trade, and then you can just make maybe $2 or $3 back for the good reward to risk ratio, that's just not worth the risk. That's just not worth your time and all the waiting. So traders with a small trading account are much more likely to be greedy and to scale up positions and to do all the other things that we talked about in the previous step. Then also false expectations is a big one. So in my opinion, I think that having false expectations or unrealistic expectations is one of the biggest trading killers in your trading, and it's responsible for a lot of mistakes that people make, and a lot of bad trading behavior is caused by false expectations. Because if you think that maybe in 1 year you can make 200 or 300% on your account, then you will just approach trading in a very wrong way, where you are too risk-taking, you take two positions that are too big, You want to let your winners ride for too long. You don't cut your losing trades. And then you try to push and try to achieve those 2, 3, maybe 400% per year. And of course, maybe it is possible if you have a lot of risk, and if you scale up your risk, maybe you get lucky a few times and then you have good returns. But over the long term, this is not sustainable. And if you have wrong expectations, this also triggers greed. So that's also a big one. And finally, if you don't have a plan, you don't have a system, then you're also more likely to fall into those greed responses. So if you don't really know what is triggering for you a good setup, what is signaling for you the best possible trade, then you will just get into random trades. You think that there might be a trade, you think that maybe the market is going to drop now, I have to get into this now, or I'm going to miss this chance. Then you are more likely to take bad trades, and also greed is one of the causes for that. And now let's get into the 3 different parts, how we can overcome greed responses and how we can manage our greed responses. So first of all, let's start here with false expectations. And the first thing, you have to wake up, you have to realize that it is just not sustainable to make 200 or 300% per year, even 100% per year on an ongoing basis. It's just not sustainable. Okay, the markets might be in a good phase for your system, they might favor your system, then you might get lucky. You might be able to pull out maybe 100% per year for 1 or 2 times, but then over time this will just average itself out. It is normal. So you have to be realistic, understand maybe you should just go for 30-40% per year, which is already an amazing return. This is something that you have to understand. Just look at what you get in your bank account and then compare it to 20, 30 or 40% per year. If you are a swing trader, just like I am, then it does not require a lot of time. So having 20 or 30% on something that requires a little bit of your time every day, it is quite a good return of investment. So become clear about this and understand that. Then reprogram yourself. This ties in with the previous point as well. So you have to understand that and get away from this get-rich-quick mindset. It is not how trading works. And having false expectations is just a snowball. It triggers so many bad behaviors, risk management, you approach trading unprofessionally. And if you really want to have a trading career, that's where we come here into the last point. If you want to make this your new career for the next 10, 20, 30 years, you want to provide for your family, you want to build a house, you want to buy a car, you want to pay for your kids' educations, then really understand how you have to approach trading. You really need to take your trading to another level, to be more professional, to approach trading like a real career, like a real job. So it is just not sustainable to make 200-300% a year by gambling away your money, by getting into wrong trades, having wrong expectations, breaking the rules, not having a system, not journaling your trades, not reviewing your performance. So become clear of where you want to be in 10 or 20 years. Then look at how you approach trading now. Does your current approach really reflect your future goals? And ask yourself, do you really deserve to be a professional trader over the long term? Or are you more of a gambler at the moment? You're just trying to maybe make a few bucks here and there, just try to get out a lot of money quickly, and then understand that this is just not the way that you should approach trading if you really want to have a long-term career, and then you can change that as well. Then we come to the problem with small trading accounts, and this is a tough topic, but the first thing that I would suggest is that you have to shift your focus. So don't try to turn a small account into a really big account. It's first very hard to do. It takes a lot of time, and it is just very, very hard psychologically and emotionally. But shift your focus a little bit. So don't look at the money. Focus on building a long-term track record. If you have proven to yourself, even if you just make a few bucks, it does not matter. Look at the percentage gains. Try to keep your risk constant. If you have built a good track record over maybe 1 year, 1.5 years, then there are services out there where you can attract other people's capital. you can trade with that capital. You get a percentage share of that return. There are many different companies out there and providers, so this is a very good account. If you have not a lot of money, don't try to gamble your small account into a big account. If you get into this wrong mindset of trying to make a small account into a big account, then you will adopt a lot of bad trading behavior, which is very hard to unlearn later on. If you are always over leveraging, you're taking bad trades, you're taking too much risk, and so on and so forth. This is very hard to unlearn later on when you have a big account and you have done that for maybe 1 or 2 years. So don't look at trading this way, but shift your focus a little bit. And then here the second point, process over money. This ties in with what I've said again. Don't look at the money, because on a small trading account you won't make any real money that will pay for anything in real life. You just have to understand that this should not be your focus right now. Your focus should be on trying to become the best trader that you can be, build a good system, understand your system, improve yourself as a trader, try to understand where your weaknesses are emotionally and also with your trading behavior, and then you can step by step overcome that, correct that, and so focus more on the process, and then the money will follow. I know it's a cliche and it sounds stupid, but it's just the way it is. And then again, remember yourself about your vision. Where do you want to be in 10, 20, 30 years? Do you really think that you can start your future life and build a trading career where you can buy a house, provide for your kids and your family by trading your $500 account? This is very unlikely. So again, shift your focus, build a track record, focus on the process, try to become the best trader that you can be. And then in 2 or 3 years, you will still be young enough to have everything that you want in 20 or 30 years, really become clear about your vision, and then you also have a much higher chance of getting there eventually. And finally, the third thing is that if you don't have a system or a plan, you are also more likely to break the rules and then follow into those greed responses that we have talked about. So first thing I would suggest is decide on a system. Pick one system, one trading style that you feel comfortable with, that makes sense for you, and try to master it. I did it in my own trading. I spent a lot of time trend following, but trend following never really made sense to me. I always felt that I was too late in the markets by chasing the trend when it was already at the end. So I decided to become a very early trend following trader, or I also call it now reversal trader. It is a little bit in between reversals and very early trend following. But I picked this path for myself, and then over the next years I only did or followed this trading strategy. I tried to perfect it. I studied everything that I could to learn about this trading style. I never looked at any other trading style or method anymore. I tried to perfect it step by step with journaling, having a good trading plan, reviewing my performance, and so on and so forth. So this brings us here to the next point. You have to be professional about what you are going to do. I said it before. If you really want to make this your trading career, then you really have to give it the seriousness that it deserves and that is required to bring you to where you want to be. You really cannot expect that by just breaking the rules, looking into forums where you can maybe find the holy grail system, that you will find something that can provide for you in the future and bring the food to your table for your family. So this is just not how it's going to be. You have to adopt a professional approach, pick one system, follow this system, try to master it, try to learn everything that you can about it. Journal all your trades, review your performance, try to look for patterns in your losing trades, then try to correct this behavior. Try to look in patterns also in your winning trades to see what is working well so you can do more of that. And then again, remind yourself of this vision that what is your life going to be in 10, 20, 30 years if you really give trading the seriousness that it deserves and that you know that you have to put in, but you just until now were too maybe lazy, or you just didn't really know how to approach that. So imagine where you will be if you really do what you know that you should be doing. We all know that we should work out more, we know that we should eat more healthy, we should read more, study more, go out, be nicer to our family and kids and spouse. But knowing what to do and actually doing those things are very separate things. So really try to become more professional about how you approach trading and your life in general. Remind yourself of the vision, and then this ties all back to what we have started with. How do you control yourself from greed? And this all comes together because greed is not just one little thing that it's one emotion and we can just turn it off by having one little hack. That's not how it's going to work. You have to really find the cause, then you have to find how you can cope with it, and then slowly build your process and your routine to overcome that. So a little bit longer than I thought this video would be. I hope you enjoyed that, find it somewhat helpful. If you have any questions for me, maybe for the next video, just drop me an email or leave a comment in the description below. I look forward to hearing from you, and have a good weekend, a good trading week ahead next week, and until the next time, bye bye.